You're watching Mirror 7 News. Stay informed, stay ahead for more news.
This is one of those cases that is both heartbreaking and deeply unsettling, because it shows how trust can be shattered from the inside out. Kristil Krug, a 43-year-old engineer, wife, and mother of 3 from Colorado, believed she was being stalked by an ex-boyfriend. The texts and emails she received became more threatening with time, messages suggesting she was being watched, followed, and even hinting that her husband's life was in danger. For weeks, she lived in fear, carefully documenting everything in what she called her stalker log, installing security cameras, and even arming herself. She did everything a person could reasonably do to protect herself and her family. But here's the chilling twist. The person behind those frightening messages wasn't a long-lost ex at all. It was her own husband, Daniel Krug. He had carefully constructed an elaborate deception, creating accounts and sending messages that appeared to come from someone Kristil once dated decades earlier. To authorities, the ex-boyfriend looked like the prime suspect. To Kristil, it felt like the past had come back to haunt her, but in reality, the threat was sitting right beside her. On December 14, 2023, just days before Christmas, Kristil was found murdered in her garage, beaten and stabbed. Initially, investigators even issued an arrest warrant for her former boyfriend, believing he could have been behind it. But very quickly, the evidence pointed elsewhere. When search warrants finally came back from communication providers like Google and Verizon, weeks after they were first requested, the data revealed that the stalking messages were being sent from an IP address linked to Daniel's workplace. The truth was devastating. The husband, who pretended to be supportive, who even acted like he was also being terrorized, was in fact the architect of the entire nightmare. Earlier this year, Daniel Krug was convicted of his wife's murder and sentenced to life in prison without parole. Prosecutors argued that his motive was rooted in fear of losing control as his marriage fell apart. Kristil had wanted out, and instead of letting her go, Daniel chose to manipulate, terrify, and ultimately kill her. Her cousin, Rebecca Ivanoff, a former prosecutor, has been outspoken since the trial. She argues that Kristil's death might have been prevented if communication companies had responded faster to search warrants. She's now pushing for what she calls Kristil's Law, a requirement that companies provide digital evidence related to stalking within 48 hours. Her belief is simple: quicker responses could save lives. What makes this case so painful is that Kristil did everything right. She followed the rules, sought help, and never ignored the danger signs. Yet the system failed her. Now, her family is determined to turn that tragedy into change, so others won't have to endure what she did. Kristil's story is a sobering reminder of how quickly stalking can escalate to deadly violence, and how vital it is that warning signs are never overlooked. Stay subscribed for more videos.